everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to paint a stack of books. So let's do it. Okay, so to start, I'm just going to go through my materials. I have my Arches watercolor paper. I have my Winsor Newton Cotman watercolors. I have my Princeton snap brush in a size 6, a pencil, an eraser, paper towel, water, and I have my photos. So I've gotten requests to do a tutorial on this painting I did, I think it was last year. So I'm just gonna go through how to draw it out and paint it, and that's about it. Okay, so you're gonna take your pencil, and it's actually fairly easy. They're just a bunch of rectangles in different kind of angles. So we'll start with the bottom one and just do a very, very light sketch. Just so if you need to erase, you won't leave any marks. If you feel like using a ruler, you can, but don't feel like you have to. So the first one is a rectangle at the bottom. Okay, rectangle at the bottom, and then you're gonna do a line of an angle out like this, and another one that's parallel. Okay, and a very small one over here. And then you're just gonna do kind of, oh yeah, actually another line like this that's parallel to this one. Okay, we'll add curves and all that stuff later. There's your first book. Now the second one, we're gonna go right up to this part. And this one's gonna be peeking over just a little. So we're just gonna gently bring that line down just a bit, and then we're gonna do another angle going this way that will reach over just a little. And always try to think of your lines are going to be parallel. So the end of this book and this one are going to be going the same direction, and then the ones that are going this way and this way will be going the same direction. Okay. So then you're going to do your line here. And then this one is going to come out on an angle, the ends of this book. And again, a parallel line to that. And a parallel line to this one. Okay. Now the book on top is going to be going over this book a bit, so you can just draw the line over and then erase it after. So this one is going to go straight across. Maybe we'll end right around here. And then your angle is going to go this way. Let's actually get the end of that book. Sorry if this is not the best explanation. And this is a very slight angle. So just make sure all your angles are parallel to each other of the ones that are across, right? Like that. And then another book here. This one's going to go over. So you're going to have a little, because this is on an angle, you're going to go straight across, and you're going to have kind of like a little bit of this book showing. There's just another straight line. Just a slight angle with this one, not really too much. Okay, we're going to go more into detail after. I'm just getting the lines down first. Actually, this one can even be shorter. Okay. And then I'm going to do a bit of a smaller book on top. But you're going to see less of the inside of this one, so and you can always do different widths too, like some thicker books, some thinner books. Very small part of this book there. And then this one, I'll do a small one up here. And then you see more of this, the binding of this one. Actually, this corner is going to stick out a little. Okay. And there you go. You have your sketch down. You can add as many books as you want. You can take away. It's also helpful, sorry, if you look at a actual stack of books. Just going to draw like the table a bit there. But yeah, so then what I did, oh, also you need a marker. I use my Micron markers. This is in a 0.1, and I draw it over first. It is waterproof, so make sure you use a waterproof marker for this. I love Micron pens. You could use a really thin Sharpie too. And I'm just gonna go over my lines to, you know, do that. Now also when I'm going to do my lines, I'm going to add a bit of a curve so they're not so straight edged, especially where you're going to see the inside of those books. They're curved lines. So I can just take this and curve it a little. Okay. And you're going to add a little bit of a thickness to the book's covers. So just an extra line there. Okay, and then for the inside of the papers, you're just going to draw your line there, and then you can just take your marker and do some really fine lines for the inside. And I tend to just shade just a little where that binding is, okay? So start to curve the lines of your books a bit, especially where it's all bound together, and make those covers thick, adding that extra line like that. And the pages again, those really thin lines. And then just do that for all of the books. Once you're done going over all those pencil lines, make sure you erase all the pencil lines underneath. Okay, so now that you have your stack of books, you can start painting. You do not have to paint or copy these colors that I'm doing. You can do your own. This was for a Valentine's Day post, so I did all pinks and purples and stuff. So today, maybe I'll go for some different colors. All right, so maybe let's do a rainbow of colors. So I'll start off with the blue, and I'm just going to paint the bottom one in a light wash of blue. Remember, I always start off with a light wash of paint, so I can always go in and darken up things that I need to. Okay, so just painting that cover. And then I'm going to add a bit of shadow just by tapping some color on the edge of the binding. So the bottom line and the top line. It just adds a bit of depth to look at it. And then right where this book is on top of that one, it would cast a shadow there. We're going to do more of a shadow later once this dries, but you can darken that area up just a bit. So you can even take a different blue or a gray. Just kind of, there would be a point from this book on top. It would cast a bit of a shadow because it's overlapping. And say the light source is coming from above, there would be a shadow underneath. So I like to leave this part of the book, the center of the spine, a little lighter. Like that. And now I'm gonna skip a book because I don't want the paint on this book to touch this one and then bleed in together. So I'm gonna skip this book and paint the next one. So if I'm doing a rainbow, that would be blue, green, yellow, orange, red, purple. Okay, so we're gonna do yellow. So I'm gonna take my cadmium yellow. Again, a light wash of it so you can darken it up in places that you need to. I'm leaving those pages, like this area of them, white for now. We're gonna do an off-white color after. So I'm just gonna go in with some darker color. I'm gonna use yellow ochre. I don't want this yellow to be so bright. Just tapping that darker color around the edges of the spine of the book. Like that. If you want it darker, you can totally do that. And then especially underneath where this book would be casting a shadow on this one, just adding some darker color there too. Like that. Now I'm going to skip and I'm going to go to red. Back in with my darker pigment, more paint than water. I'm just going to go around the edge, leaving that light wash in the middle. That. And is this one dry? Okay, so I'm gonna wait for the other ones to dry before I start painting them. Okay, so now that I have the first layer of those books down, I can do, and they have dried, I'm gonna do the other books. So I'm gonna create a green here. Maybe a bluish green, because why not? Okay. Going back in there with that dark color, especially where this one would cast a shadow. So there's my green book. I'm gonna do my orange. Maybe I'll mix a bit more red with this orange. Go back in with my darker color. There we go. And then the last one, I'm going to do a purple book up here. Oops. Adding some shadow at the bottom because this is the top book. The light source is coming from the top. You're going to have that lighter bit at the top and the shadow more towards the bottom. Okay. Maybe I'll add a bit of pink in there. Okay. Okay. So now we have the first layers of all of our books. Just gonna take up some of that color that went over the lines. Okay, and now you're gonna create the actual shadow. Because shadow isn't exactly like the shadow on the blue book is not gonna be just necessarily a dark blue. It might have a bit of gray to it. So, and this one is dry. So now I'm gonna create a shadow that is a bit more sharper than just like, so I'm just gonna go underneath where that part of the book is sticking out over top, like that. Okay, even add a bit more gray to it, and then just darken it up right under where that book is sticking out. I'm gonna wash off my brush, dry it, and I'm just gonna drag it a bit down just to blend it out a bit, like that. Okay. Now I'll do the shadow on this yellow book. So the shadow color of the yellow might be a darker orange, maybe a bit of brown. And I'm just gonna bring it down where that part is kind of overlapping. Now it's pretty sharp, so again, I'm gonna wash off my brush, dry it, and then blend it out. So it's not a sharp shadow. Again, if you need to, you can go back and just darken it up just a little. Like that. Okay, and then the shadow on the red. So I'm gonna mix this red with a bit of brown. And also put the shadow here. And again, it's pretty sharp. Wash off, dry off your brush. Just blend it out a bit more. I might go a bit darker, might add a bit of purple to the shadow. So it's a deeper red. I'm gonna wash off my brush and just blend it out a bit. Go back right under there with some of that darker color. Like that. And then I'm gonna wait for these books to dry before I do the shadows on them. Okay, so now that's dry. I'm gonna do the shadows on the remaining ones. So this orange book, there's not too much shadow, just might darken up some areas. I'm tired. But this green book should definitely have some shadows because the yellow is peeking over. Just blending out a bit. And there you go. Okay, and now I'm just gonna add some shadow on the table underneath. Just gonna take some of my black and brown. I'm just gonna do a light wash. Here. And drag that color out. And then pop it back in right underneath the books. Okay, and then you're also gonna take the same kind of color, this like really light brown wash. Just gonna blend this out a bit for the pages of the books too. So really, really light. Just so they're not bright, bright white. And then you can pop some darker bits where those lines are. It's too very light wash. Taking up some of that color and just popping in more of the darkness around there, like that. Once you're done laying down all the colors of the book, you can start to add some detail, florals, whatever you want to make it stand out and look awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.